Guys, good afternoon. Please, I just listened and watched the all over the social media space the presentation on the defense of the budget of the NNPC before the National Assembly by the current GMD of NNPC, and I felt like puking, and I felt like weeping, and I felt like crying. Come on, guys, we need to stop this charade that is going on in our oil and gas industry, especially our National Oil Corporation, NNPC. Nigeria is not the only oil producing state. Nigeria is not the only country that has a national oil corporation. Before Brazil discovered oil, Nigeria has already discovered oil. Petrobras, the Brazilian National Oil Corporation, was founded and established in 1970, long after the Nigerian National Oil Corporation, that later morphed up and metamorphosed into the NNPC in 1977-78. Nigeria has crude oil reserve that is almost 3 times that of Brazil. Brazilian national oil crude oil reserve is 15 billion barrels. Nigerian proven crude oil reserve is about 37 billion barrels, and probable reserve of almost about 50 billion barrels. Today, Petrobras, I went through the books. NNPC is telling the National Assembly that they paid 10 trillion naira into the consolidated revenue funds. If you are to use the autonomous FX market, the official FX market, that is $6 billion. And I'm not even sure those monies actually came in the recess of it. And we are there expecting us to clap. Come on, guys, let's look at Petrobras. Petrobras controls and manages 15 billion barrels reserve, unlike NNPC that sits on top of 37 billion barrels reserve of Nigeria. Petrobras in 2022 paid taxes and royalties of 276 billion Brazilian real, Brazilian currency, equivalent of $44 billion. Please go and fact check me. Petrobras paid as taxes and royalties to the Brazilian government over 44 billion US dollars. In just this 2023, they paid over 39.8, no, they paid $40 billion into the Brazilian coffers as royalties and taxes. Today, Petrobras in 2023 did turnover of $121 billion and profit of $36 billion. Profit after tax. Profit after taxation of $36 billion after paying taxes and royalties of over $40 billion. And not only that, they also returned over $6 billion US dollars into the Brazilian economy as their share of equity in the outfit. Why is Petrobras today on crude oil reserve of $15 billion? Total asset size is $171 billion. Total annual turnover is $121 billion. Profit after taxes billion. Why is the Petrobras that is sitting on half of, less than half of the crude oil reserve that we have in Nigeria, doing 5-6 times, what is that? 6 times better than NNPC? And I will explain to you. You see, we need to end this charade. We need to see, I am so angry because the National Assembly has become a caricature and a mockery of what it means to be a National Assembly. The Nigerian media, both those in the print, mainstream media, and even those who are supposed to be members of the 40th State of the Realm, are caricatures of what it means to be a media group because they are not even interrogating and asking the right question. NNPC has no business doing the kind of thing they are doing today. What did the Brazilians do? And that is the root of the matter. Now, Brazilians are no more honest than Nigerians. Brazilian government discovered that to allow their national oil corporation to remain under public sector control, the way we have NNPC. NNPC today is owned 100% by the Ministry of Finance Incorporated and Ministry of Petroleum. All of them are public sector things. And they are supervised by the executive arm and National Assembly. See, anybody who is a Nigerian and who has been alive old enough to know his level, that the level of public sector corruption in Nigeria is such that even makes Satan grin with envy. What did the Brazilians do? Brazilians sold down 72% of their public shares to private investors, both local and private, and the government retained only 28%. And they listed it on the floor of the exchange. That is why you see them, there's efficiency, there's transparency, there's accountability. Go and check the shareholders of Brazil. You can't come and tell them stories. If we desire to get the NNPC to work more efficient than Petrobras, to be as efficient as Aramco, we need to do this. And see, we cannot stop talking. See, the current arrangement is a convoluted den of criminality. We know it. How is it that every successive president have refused to do the right things that other people have done? We need to sell down as a matter of urgency. 70% of the shareholding combined of the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, Ministry of Petroleum should be sold down. 30% to 3 core investors, 10%. 3 core investors with technical capacity, with deep financial capacity in the oil and gas sector. Then the remaining 40% should be sold to Nigerians. And new NNPC will be listed on the floor of the exchange, Nigerian Stock Exchange and London Stock Exchange, dual listing or even New York Stock Exchange. And they will do an IPO of $20 billion. Under this transparent framework NNPC in terms of ownership and structure and corporate governance arrangement, will become so efficient. We will invest in new technology. All these stories of crude oil disappearing, it will be a thing of the past. New investments will come in. See, under this new arrangement, there's no way we will not attract $20 billion into this oil and gas annually. New rigs, new technology, a lot of things, new wells will spring up, even new explorations. But as long as we just keep on doing this caricature thing, Mele will stand before the National Assembly and tell them, come and boost stories. Of course, those ones are not even there to interrogate him and ask questions. They are there to collect their own shares. And that is what they do. They are there to further their own interests, pursue contrasts, try and see how they can ingratiate themselves, mutual ingratiations. He robs their back, they rob his back, and Nigeria continues to decay. And that is the truth. What is so difficult about this? The only public corporation in Nigeria that is continuously and constantly paying dividend is Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas. Even that one is not working efficiently. It's not even utilizing up to 69% of its capacity because there is no gas provision. And the federal government is not even doing anything to shore up gas supply to that place, to enable even them meet 100% capacity of their nameplate and then even expand. Russia is embroiled with mutual economic war with the West. Africa is next. Nigeria is actually one of the destinations for gas supply for the West. And our governments and those who purport to govern and lead us are not seeing the bigger picture. For NNPC to work, forget this thing they are doing. See, we keep on wasting our time. We need to do this. And the earlier we do it, though, the better for us. And for those social media urchins and bandits that I've seen their postings everywhere, they are clapping for what? Let us even assume that $6 billion came in. Do you compare $6 billion with Petrobras that did $40 billion in tax and royalties and $6.8 billion as payment into the Brazilian Federation account for just 28% shareholding? They do 2.3 million barrels every day consistently on a crude oil reserve of 15 billion barrels. Are we not ashamed of ourselves as a country? Are we not ashamed to be allowing this caricature, this mess, and these guys, they stand? Are we not ashamed? God have mercy on us. Kai, what kind of country is this? What kind of country is this? What kind of country is this? Why are we afraid of doing simple things that are simple to do?